Everything you are seeking is also seeking you. Bob Proctor. Have you ever stopped to wonder why some people, even starting from nothing, seem to attract money like a magnet, while others constantly struggle for every penny? No matter how hard they work, no matter how badly they want it, money slips away. It's like chasing the wind. And maybe, at some point, you felt that way too, as if there's an invisible wall between you and prosperity. But what if I told you that this barrier isn't outside? It's inside. It's not the market. It's not the government. It's not the economy or the competition. It's a habit so simple, so seemingly ordinary, that most people overlook it. And that's exactly why most never get there. But the few who understand it live in a completely different world, a world where money isn't a struggle, it's a consequence. A world where the external reality bends to the power of the internal mind. Because everything starts with this, how you think about yourself. And I'm not talking about fleeting thoughts. I'm talking about the deep conviction anchored in the core of your being. The unshakable belief that you are, indeed, worthy, capable, prepared, and born to prosper. Napoleon Hill called this definiteness of purpose. Bob Proctor translated it as mental paradigms. Neville Goddard went even further. You become what you assume to be true. These are not just pretty phrases, they are keys, codes, timeless truths disguised as simplicity. It's the simple habit of turning your focus inward, toward being, not having. You don't make money. You become the kind of person money seeks. Money is a messenger. It arrives when you call it through actions aligned with your highest identity. But that call doesn't come from your mouth. It comes from your mind, from your choices, from the silent vibration you send into the world, even when no one is watching. Henry Ford was mocked for saying, "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right." Yet this man, without a degree, without pedigree, without privilege, built an empire because he understood something that most still don't. External reality is a mirror, not a creator. What you project is what returns. What you believe is what you live. What you feel is what manifests. And it all starts with a habit. A simple, yet radical habit, taking total responsibility for your mind. Every single day, before the world demands your attention, before the phone rings, before the bills chase you, before fear wraps around you like a fog, you stop, you breathe, and you ask the question that changes everything. Who do I choose to be today? Because in that instant, before any external movement happens, you are defining the type of energy you're about to emit. And believe this, the universe responds to vibration, not to need. You may need money, but if you're vibrating desperation, it runs. If you're vibrating scarcity, it disappears. If you're vibrating doubt, it goes silent. But when you tune into the frequency of clarity, confidence, and vision, something shifts. Internally first, silently, invisibly, but deeply, and soon, the external world begins to mirror this new version of you. This isn't magic. It's law. Laws as real as gravity. And one of these laws says, you attract what you are, not what you want. So the key isn't to chase. It's to become. And becoming requires practice, repetition, mental discipline, the simple habit of reaffirming daily who you are, and ruthlessly cutting away everything that does not align with that truth. Carnegie, the man who conquered the steel industry, was obsessed with mindset. He understood that an army of ordinary men with unshakable belief was more powerful than a group of geniuses crippled by doubt. He said, "Men who build empires are those who do not bow to doubt." they face it until it bows to them. And here's the detail that separates the giants from the mediocre. Most people wait until they feel ready to act. But the ones who win act their way into feeling ready. They know that action shapes identity, that every small step is a vote for who you are becoming, and that money, in the end, is just an echo. It responds to the power of your decision. So here's the simple habit. Choose daily the identity of someone who has already won. It doesn't matter what's in your bank account. It doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't matter if everyone around you says it's impossible. Because the truth is, it's not the world that needs to change. It's you. It's the image you hold when you close your eyes. It's the story you silently tell yourself when no one is listening. Neville Goddard taught, "Feel it real now. Don't wish. Don't merely dream. Feel it." Because feeling is the bridge between the invisible and the visible. When you feel prosperity before it arrives, you're telling the universe, "I trust." And when that trust is real, it changes everything. Your posture, your energy, your words, your habits. And then, inevitably, money shows up. Because you stopped chasing it and started reflecting it. And if this sounds hard, think of Edison, the man who failed 10,000 times before lighting the world. He wasn't just trying to invent a light bulb. He was becoming a channel for realization. He didn't give up because every attempt was a silent affirmation of who he was. And that's what the habit does. It turns your actions into affirmations, your thoughts into commands, your life into a masterpiece. But the modern world is flooded with distractions. Every day, we're bombarded with reasons to give up. News, comparisons, doubts planted between the lines. And that's why this habit must be protected. It's not enough to do it once. It's not enough to do it only when you feel inspired. It's a practice, a ritual, a daily decision. Like a warrior sharpening his sword at sunrise, you sharpen your mind before facing the day. You choose what comes in. You choose what stays. You choose what defines you. Because if you don't define who you are, the world will do it for you. And the world is not interested in your greatness. It prefers you small, boxed in, predictable. But you were not born to be predictable. You were born to be impossible to ignore. And it starts in the silence of your own mind. Do not underestimate the power of a thought nurtured every single day. It seems small. It feels insignificant. But that's how empires are born. Not through explosions, but through repeated sparks. A spark of vision. A spark of faith. A spark of consistent action. The simple habit of feeding your inner image until it overflows into reality. Most people look outward and react. But the ones who win look inward and command. They don't ask, "What is the world offering me today?" They ask, "What am I creating today?" Because they understand that wealth is not a coincidence, it's a consequence. It follows those who know who they are, even when the world tries to make them forget. Identity clarity creates a magnetic field. People are drawn to it. Opportunities appear. And it's not magic. It's resonance. If you feel lost, not knowing where to start here. Define, with precision, who you choose to be. It's not about a job. It's not about a paycheck. It's about essence. Are you someone who generates value? Who serves with excellence? Who leads with courage? Who creates solutions instead of repeating problems? Then, money will come. Because the world rewards those who solve. And to solve, you must be before you do. Look at Walt Disney. He didn't just draw characters. He built a universe. And it all started with a simple habit. Feeding a vision no one else could see. A talking mouse. An enchanted land. A park where adults and children would come back to dream. They called it madness. And he responded with work, with faith, with unshakable conviction. That's the point. You don't need to convince the world. You need to convince yourself. And that is built with repetition, with persistence, with intention, waking up every day and affirming with every step, I am the kind of person who thrives. I am the kind of person who attracts money with purpose. I am the kind of person who lives aligned with abundance. Don't wait to feel like it. Live as if you already are. Because you don't act because you are. You become because you act like it. That's the paradox few understand. They wait for the mind to change on its own. They wait for the feeling to come. They wait for motivation to fall from the sky. But the truth is, habit precedes feeling. Habit creates the inner environment where the feeling can grow. Do you think Lincoln felt confident all the time while leading a divided nation? That Mandela, imprisoned for decades, felt ready to forgive? That Oprah, rejected in her youth, waited to feel worthy before starting to shine? No, they created a pattern, a practice, an internal discipline that sustained greatness. And that practice, at its core, is this simple habit, living every day in alignment with the most powerful version of yourself. You know it. You've seen it, even for seconds, in your best moments. That moment when everything flows, when confidence feels natural, when you feel you were born for this. That version is real, and it's waiting for you to make it the standard, not the exception. Money responds to that, because money, in truth, is organized energy. It's materialized confidence. It's the reflection of ideas transformed into real value. A poor mind thinks, what can I get? A rich mind thinks, what can I create? And that difference changes everything. You are not here to survive. You are here to create. And creation requires clarity. Clarity demands decision. And decision requires the habit of eliminating distractions, of protecting your mind as if it were a temple. Because it is. Everything that exists in your life was born there, as a seed, as an impulse, as a perception. Want to change your financial life? Change the environment where your decisions are born. That means cutting the noise. It means filtering what you consume. It means choosing what you read, what you listen to, who you spend time with. Because you are always being programmed, either by you or by forces that don't care about your growth. The mind is fertile soil, but whatever you plant in it grows. And the simple habit is this: plant every day images of abundance, of capability, of impact. And here's the secret. It's not enough to imagine. You must feel it as if it's already true. Bob Proctor used to say, the subconscious doesn't know the difference between what is real and what is imagined with emotion. So if you wake up, take a deep breath and see yourself as someone rich in ideas, rich in solutions, rich in attitude. Your body responds. Your tone changes. Your posture shifts. Your decisions evolve. And the world responds. But if you see yourself as a victim, as someone waiting for luck to change, the money won't come. Because money is not charity. It's an exchange. It's energy. And energy responds to identity. So stop right now. Close your eyes. Feel what it would be like to walk with the confidence of someone who knows money is coming. Feel what it would be like to act with the certainty of someone who already has it. Feel what it would be like to be the kind of person others admire, clients trust, and the market values. This is the beginning of transformation, not the end, the beginning, because feeling is what starts the engine, but it's habit that drives the car. And this car will take you wherever you want, if you stay on the road. You don't need a perfect plan. You need an unshakable commitment to repeat this habit until it becomes who you are. To become, daily, the embodiment of value, vision, and the vibration of wealth. And then, without forced effort, the money comes. Because reality does not resist a human being in full expression of their power. Imagine what would happen if, for 90 days, you committed to this habit with ferocity. If every single day, upon waking, you aligned yourself with the most powerful version of who you are. If, before opening your phone, before looking at the outside world, you nourished your inner world. Imagine the strength you would begin to emit, the confidence, the clarity, the conviction. It doesn't matter if your bank balance hasn't changed yet. It doesn't matter if the results haven't arrived. Because when you hold a new identity long enough, reality has no choice. It bends. It starts to reorganize itself around your dominant vibration. Because that's how creation works. From the inside out. Never the other way around. That's why the great ones, the truly great, are never in a rush. They have rhythm. They're not constantly chasing instant results. They live building unshakable inner structures. They understand that real wealth starts in the mind, in the spirit, in the habit of leading yourself, even when no one is watching. The habit of staying focused, even when everything tries to distract you. The habit of showing up even without applause. Because money will come, but first you need to prove to the universe and to yourself that you are trustworthy, that you know how to sustain what you desire, that you have the vibrational maturity to handle what you're asking for. The question is not, how much money do you want? It is, who do you need to become in order to attract and sustain that money? Most people focus only on having. They want the house. They want the car. They want the freedom. But they ignore the most important thing, the transformation required to sustain all of it. And that's where the power of habit comes in. It transforms you quietly, but radically. It sculpts your identity the way a sculptor shapes marble, with repeated, determined, consistent strikes. You don't see it in the beginning, but one day, the shape appears, and everything makes sense, but only if you don't quit. Because the world will test your consistency. Voices will show up, interferences, obstacles, not to destroy you, but to reveal how serious you really are. The universe asks every single day, do you truly want this? And your answer is not in words. It's in habits. Waking up earlier to feed your vision is an answer. Choosing to learn instead of entertain yourself is an answer. Saying no to what doesn't elevate you is an answer. Taking action despite fear is an answer. Persisting without guarantees is an answer. And money listens to these answers. Because money doesn't go to those who need it. It goes to those who become a magnet for it. See, you can ask, pray, plan, visualize, but if, after that, you go back to acting as if you're still broke, insecure, or lost, then you're canceling your own creation. You're telling the universe, forget what I said. This is who I really am. That's why habit is powerful. It proves who you are more than any verbal affirmation ever could. Think of someone like Elon Musk. No matter what you think of him, the fact is, the man thinks big and acts like someone who believes in every inch of his vision. That's why money follows him. The world cannot resist embodied conviction. And you can cultivate that conviction too. It doesn't need to be loud. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be consistent. Conviction grows in the soil of repetition. And it starts small, like a seed. You plant it when you wake up, when you choose, when you act, when you persist. And one day, it blossoms into results that no one can ignore. And then, what was invisible becomes tangible. What was mental becomes material. What was internal becomes external. Because this is the law. You harvest what you sustain. Not what you wish. Not what you try. What you sustain. And to sustain, you need emotional discipline. And to sustain, you need emotional discipline. It's not just about repeating phrases in the mirror. It's about resisting the pull of your old identity, overcoming the urge to fall back, staying committed to the new standard even when everything seems the same. Because habit transforms in silence. In the beginning, nothing seems to change. But inside, everything is being rewired. You begin to think differently, speak differently, walk differently, and that bothers others. Because your new vibration exposes their stagnation. But that's a good sign. You're becoming unpredictable, and every true transformation creates disruption. Keep going. Remember who you are, even when it would be easier to forget. Remember who you chose to become, even when the past comes knocking. Remember what you are building, even when the present looks dark. Because this daily habit is more than just a technique. It is a declaration, a silent declaration of greatness, of vision, of inner power. And when that power is cultivated, money shows up as an inevitable consequence. So listen, the world already has enough ordinary people walking in circles, repeating the same patterns, waiting for something to change out there. But you are not one of those people. You chose to wake up. And that choice requires more than intention. It demands a daily commitment, a silent vow to your future, a pact with your own power. From today on, you no longer live on autopilot. From today on, you act like someone who already knows exactly where they are going. Every day, you plant the seed of the right identity, even if no one sees it, even if no one understands it. Because you understand, because you feel it, because you are ready. This simple habit is the beginning of the revolution that will change your life. And over time, change your entire world. And if this message spoke to you, if something deep inside of you just woke up, don't let it pass like just another video. Turn this emotion into a decision. Click now to subscribe to the channel. This space is yours. It's made for visionaries like you. People who don't settle for average, who live to grow, who want more from life and are willing to do whatever it takes to achieve it. And after you subscribe, comment down below. I declare that you are ready. Declare that your identity has shifted. Declare that money is already on its way because you've started becoming the person who naturally attracts it. I declare 2 words, 1 new story. Now go, act, plant, and sustain. Because the entire world is waiting to see what happens when a human like you decides to live in total alignment with their power. And when you do, the money will come. Because there's no way it won't.